3-0. The gift of Troy is a fabulous fabric from the land of the 5 rivers.
Years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
We live, man.
Yes, sir.
We live, man. Another post-game reaction to another loss. Another Raider loss, bro.
Yeah, man. It's very ugly, bro. It's like at the point, like, you don't even come out here, you're not mad. You know what I mean? It's a way of life at this point.
Nah, facts, bro. Facts. Raiders, obviously, they lose 31-0. Kansas City Chiefs. Yep. This is gonna be I don't even want to call it a tough loss. It was a loss where, man, you go into the bye week, so that means that's 2 weeks where you're just like, you got the fans, you got everybody, you know what I mean, is like going to be thinking about this game, the fan base, the players, the locker room, the coaching staff, that everybody in that Raiders building. 31-0. Terrible game, terrible showing by the Raiders. Another terrible road game. I think both their wins have come at home. So actually, you know what? They did have both that wins. They had the Patriots. They had the Patriots.
Yeah. You're right, man. It's very ugly, bro. I mean, last week you win, right? And we had some people in the chat who were excited and happy, and rightfully so. The wins ain't gonna come often, so you might as well, celebrate them while you can. But at the same time, we have people saying, well, you only got to win one, and then there you go. It's like, bro, pump your brakes, bro. Pump your brakes. We can clearly see what type of team this is. This is not a good team. This is not a good team. It's not a good coached team either. I don't give a fuck what, and we're gonna get into it. There's excuses that people have, but this is not a well-coached team at all, in no phase, right? But there are some problems with the players. But to me, and I definitely would get your take on it, bro. They look disinterested. The players look like they didn't give a fuck today. I'm gonna be real with you. They look like they did not care, and that is a reflection on the head coach, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say at some point in the first half, I felt like they were out of it. Once I start seeing the missed tackles, that's when I was like, oh yeah, it's game over. It's game over. That was like some point in the at the end of that second half where I was seeing those missed tackles. I'm like, all right, you know what? Tackling a grown man to the ground, man, is a skill in itself, but it's also an effort thing. It's a 1-2. So when you start seeing that happening over and over again, it's like, all right, at this point, the players are kind of letting you know, like, they've thrown that white flag, and to be fair, like the Raiders offense, I mean, the way it started, I thought going into the game, I thought, it was going to be pretty clear moving forward, especially after last game. And I thought going into the season, I felt the same way, but, it took them a while to figure this out. I thought it was going to be the Genty show. I thought it was going to find a way to give your best player on offense currently, literally, with the injuries to Brock Bowers, to Jacoby Myers. We'll get into all that. You would think that it would be an emphasis to get him the ball in any way, shape, or form. It was not just, I'm not even saying just run the ball, but also get him in space, because he's special in that way where he could, make guys miss or break tackles, that contact balance. We weren't able to see that. We weren't able to see that because the Raiders have time and time again have done a terrible job of featuring Ashton Genty. I've kind of been surprised the way they've kind of dealt with Ashton Genty. And, to be fair, he is a rookie. He is a rookie, and there was an element of like getting him, used to, being out there against NFL competition. We get it, but he's a number 6 overall pick. I did not expect the Raiders to have an identity of having no identity. I thought they were going to be a running football team, and then you build off there. But they weren't able to establish that early on, and it just was what was it, like one carry, the first 2 carries?
It was bad, bro. But then like when you look, Gino only threw the ball 16 times. So then it's like, where did the offense go? What did we do all game? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we didn't do anything. So it's like it felt like we weren't even on the field offensively for real. It was like everything's like a 3 and out, so we can't even get no rhythm started. By the time we get on the field, it's already 14's hip, right? And then to make matters worse, we're going 3 and outs, and they're completing and scoring from drives on their own 8-9 yard line. It's like, dog, they are taking a tremendous amount of time. So it's like today I could kind of see why on the ground he didn't get right. Now in the pass game, yes, I definitely think there are more screens and there's more he can be implemented in. But there's only so many swings and screens we can throw, bro, before we can say like our quarterback just fucking sucks. Like he's just not good. So it's like whatever, like that's all we can do pretty much with him is throw him screens and all the extra. Personally, bro, and some people are gonna get mad at this, but personally, I'm not that mad that they're not using him a ton. Because one, I was right with you before the season. I didn't think we was about to be shit anyway before the season. But number 2, I'm on the same wave how I am with Brock and all the extra, bro. We're not doing anything this year. Why subject this man to all that punishment that he's about to receive by trying to kill this man this year? Like, and guess what I said before the draft too, and I'm sure you said it too. Josh Jacobs 2.0. That's why Josh left. Because he saw this coming down the pike. Josh Jacobs said, y'all not finna kill me with damn near 30 carries and not pay me the bread I'm owed. It's not gonna happen. So he left for a team that he can take maybe less money or the same amount of money, but they're gonna win more. And guess what, fellas and ladies? If we don't get our shit together in about 3 years, that's the same fate Ashton Genty will soon come to. He will soon say, and so will Brock Bowers, and so will Max Crosby, all of them. They will soon say, well, why am I wasting myself here? Makes no sense. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's just how it goes here. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, yeah, we should be using them more, but at the same time, it's like, for what? You know what I mean? like to get our heads bashed in by 14 less points. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And to be fair, that's, with the Josh Jacobs, situation, that was all, that was a few years back. That's a whole completely different regime. And that was just a matter of like not wanting to pay him. They didn't want to pay him. And that was Telesco not wanting to pay him. But that being said, that, if we want to, talk about the past and, as recently as last year, which is what, you're talking about the offseason before last year, AP, has done a better job competing against the Chiefs than head coach Pete Carroll. 75-year-old Pete Carroll, which I never agreed with the hire, but it's a funny thing, Raider Nation and Raider fans, and I'm a Raider fan as well, is that when you are critical of something during the offseason, you're looked at as negative. You're not telling the truth. You're not giving a reasonable opinion on something. You're looked at as a hater. You don't know what you're talking about. Who are you? Pete Carroll's won a Super Bowl. He's coached a winning football. What are you talking about? But when I say that, hey, when you hire a 75-year-old head coach, that's never been done in NFL history, the oldest coach in NFL history, we got to question it. How do you get rid of a Antonio Pierce, a head coach Antonio Pierce, which I understand a lot of people were over critical of Antonio Pierce, and I'm not saying he was perfect. I'm not saying Antonio Pierce is perfect, but they're over analyzing, over critical of Antonio Pierce. But when it comes to all the other aspects in the team, they never talk about how bad that football team was. They don't talk about how injury riddled that defense was. They don't talk about how that team did not have a quarterback. That team did not have a starting running back. But guess what
Let's
Pete
talk
Carroll
about
did?
it, bro.
Guess what Pete Carroll did when he first got here. When he first got to Vegas.
Got
he
a
made
quarterback.
sure he got his quarterback. He got his quarterback. He had and best believe when I say Pete Carroll got his quarterback, what I'm saying is Pete Carroll's running the show. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Pete Carroll has a big say in that Raiders building compared to a Spytek, not compared to an AP. AP didn't have any say, and I don't want to make this an AP versus Pete Carroll. I'm gonna bring it back full circle because it's all gonna come down to decision making. You get rid of.
Let me. I kind of want to real quick. I don't even want to cut you off either.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
And you doing your thing, but I definitely want to add to your point too, because I want to add on to what you're saying, bro. Because I was definitely talking about this on X. I seen DJ talking about it, and I kind of seen you talk about it too on social media. But either way, bro, like how a fan could sit there and tell me that this year is not worse than last year, I don't know. I was arguing with the fan earlier today. Last year we were losing games, right? And if you're last year, either if you just watch the box score or you're a highlight watcher, I could definitely know which one you are. Because if you just sat there and said, well, AP got blown out, this, and that, it's the same thing like this year. Dog, we clearly saw last year that there were points in these games. We are in these games until quarterback error or offensive blunder, and we just cannot recover from that shit last year. We saw that multiple times. And if you watched the game last year, you knew that, and you know that. We're like, okay, bro, we're in these games, but there's some dumbass plays here. Broncos game, for example. There's a pick six here. There's a couple things here that just happen. But if we get these shits right, bro, maybe we can have a respectable more record, right? This year, what the fuck can you even say or go on? What can you go on to even say, like, this would be better? This can get better. Nothing. Everything is negative. Even the defense last year is performing better than it. The defense last year was better with injuries than it is this year with signed players and drafted players nonetheless that our head coach refuses to play, right? So not only did Pharaoh just sit here and highlight to you about the quarterback that the head coach handpicked, that AP do that, right? But he also has these draft picks and roster moves that he mismanages. He mismanages the roster, bro. We're sitting here. Why are players that played well last year getting worse? Why? Why are draft picks that we acquired not playing over players that we clearly see are not that good? But that's all head coaching. That's all head coach. That is what it is.
Yeah, man. It's look, like I was trying to say earlier, man, it all boils down to decision making. And that's what I want the Raiders to improve on, because the Raiders will never be good until like the people who make the decisions in that building improve. And that means guys like Tom Brady. He just got here. I'm gonna give him plenty of time to like, you got to give him time. But like Tom Brady is supposed to be that improvement. Spytek also supposed to be that improvement. It's still early, but when I look at a head coach like Pete Carroll, I'm looking at him and I'm looking at some of the things that he's doing, and we got to start with that defense. I know a lot of people have been talking about Patrick Graham, but Patrick Graham, he's not running his defense. He's running Pete Carroll's defense.
Yep.
He's running that defense. That
I ain't never seen Max Crosby and all these D lines drop back into coverage for this year. Never seen that shit. But all of a sudden, PG just decides this is the year to do it. Come on now. Y'all smarter than that. Be smarter.
Right. Yeah. And it just boils down to decision making. We can talk about the coaches. We could talk about Chip Kelly. You know, Chip, when we talk about like, you know, Genty not getting the ball and not being emphasized early on, like that's a Chip Kelly thing. Now, to be fair, you know, Geno Smith has not been the quarterback that they envisioned. I never thought Geno was all that. I don't think Raider Nation was like, oh, Geno's all that. Maybe some people were buying into the noise about Geno Smith, maybe possibly being a guy for the Raiders. I didn't think he was going to be this bad, but he's been this bad. He's been bad overall. So that makes everybody's job a lot more harder on this football team. So I'll give you that. But I still don't agree with how they're not getting the best players the football, and the best player on offense is clearly Ashton Genty, and they've done a terrible job of doing that. I know Pete in the presser was like, oh, you know, the game just got out of hand. It was like a perfect storm, and, you know, that's what we wanted to do. We want to give them the ball. But, like, hey, look, at the end of the day, like, there's different ways that you can give playmakers the football, and they weren't able to do that with Ashton Genty. But I think today was more so like it was just outcoached, outplayed. The defense couldn't stop anybody. Like the defense couldn't stop.
That's really the problem. And honestly, bro, you know, I see people talking about, I even see my boy Mike. Shout out to Mike. He says Chip is on the hot seat. I don't agree with that. I just don't agree with that personally, because I feel like it's a cop-out. And I feel that is a scapegoat, because we know what the real problem is. The real problem is this fucking head coach. It's not Chip Kelly. And yes, Chip Kelly is part of the problem. Like, I'm not going to say he's not doing anything that's bad or anything that's like, oh, yeah, he's the best dude out here or the best coordinator ever. I'm not saying that, because definitely right now he's definitely underperforming of that highest paid coordinator tag. He's underperforming. Like, he is, right? But what I can say is I think the message from the head coach on down is not being received. I don't think it's being received. And I think there's dysfunction within the coaching staff as well. I don't think these motherfuckers is on the same page at all. I don't. And to be fair, bro, even today, let's talk about today. The first snap, from the very first snap, there's 9 motherfuckers in the box, bro. 9. They have their safeties are 10 yards or are down 10 yards. These motherfuckers aren't even back, no, bro. They're down 10 yards. Why? Because they're sitting here saying, hey, bro, y'all not finna throw the ball deep. Even if y'all do, y'all ain't got nobody that's gonna scare us for real. So it is what it is, bro. Like, there's no talent. There's no talent. But there's definitely about to be finger pointing. I ain't gonna cap. Like, if Chip gets fired, it's because somebody's saving their ass, to me. Somebody's saving their ass.
Yeah.
I feel like it's scapegoating.
It's funny too, because, you know, I was on social media and I'm over here, you know, just talking mess, talking trash. I'm like, at this point, like, I've been indifferent for a while now, especially, you know, and someone made a great point earlier, and they were like, you know, 20 years plus of losing that the Raiders have literally overall have been a losing franchise. You know, there's no room to be emotional at this point. You be indifferent.
Oh no.
You're at this point. You're just like, hey, look, at this point, you want smart decision making. I want change.
I want change.
You want change. You want smart people in the building. You want qualified people in the building. And we think that we've gotten that with maybe a Tom Brady and a Spy Tech. I just don't agree with the Pete Carroll hire, but they pushed themselves in a corner. And going back to what I was mentioning earlier, the reason why I was bringing up AP is the fact is grass is not always greener. You get rid of AP, who's the replacement? Who are you replacing him with? So you replace AP with a 75-year-old man. So a 75-year-old man is not going to think, he's not going to be thinking 2-3 years, or he's not going to be thinking about rebuilding. He's thinking about, like, let's win it now.
Yep.
I'd be all for that. I want to win, but I got to be realistic. Are the Raiders talent-wise there? No, they're not. They're not. That's another part of the Raiders being bad, is that they don't have the talent. They don't have the talent.
And see, bro, I'm right with you. And this is why even I get confused and I go against the grain on the nation when they talk about Spy Tech. Right now, yes, when it comes to free agency, yeah, he could have did better. But let's think about this, right? Let's just put it all in a prism. We watch enough football, Pharaoh. What's the best way to build a team, to really build a winning team? Is it through free agency or is it through the draft? It's through the draft, right? So when you hear Spytek talk throughout the offseason, all he talked about was the draft and building. That's it, right? You don't get a good team just by spending all this capital in the fucking free agency. Now all of a sudden, like, here we are, bro. We don't have any depth. We wouldn't have had any depth even if you would have spent all this top end talent that y'all wanted to spend. We need more depth and we need more talent in here. And the best way to do it is through the draft. And if you really look at what Spytek did, Spytek took the fucking approach of, we're not there yet. I can clearly see, like, bro, this roster ain't there. We're not ready to compete. So let's get some guys that maybe we can develop for the long haul, right? Get some cheap contracts for now. Because guess what? This is what everybody forgets too, but I don't forget. The whole talk before that free agency, before it even opened up, was that this free agency class ain't that strong. Everybody said that. And now all of a sudden we're bitching and complaining about it. We all sat there and said this free agency class not strong. We're not at the point as a team to be spending big ass money on big ass free agents. We're not. As much as it hurts, bro, because why the fuck are we going to, because they're going to be a Christian Wilkins or there'll be a Devontae Adams situation for whatever years down the line from then. That's why we're not ready to spend on these big ass free agents yet. Now there's a couple pieces that maybe we can grab here and there come in this next year with more capital, a better draft pick. Sure, we can do that now. But y'all that want to spend all this money to get a good team quickly, this shit's not going to work for us like that. It's just not. Right? Whatever karma, whatever juju that we have that's bad for us, it seems like we're going to have to do this shit the right way, which is building through the draft and actually building a good team, not doing it the quick way, like how we've been trying to do it. That's why we've been ass, because all we do is just put band-aids and quick fixes on everything. Head coach, quarterback, everything, but we don't do it the right way. And that's what's biting us in the ass right now.
No, facts. I mean, they've been reload instead of rebuild for a while now. I think the closest rebuild that we've seen in the recent memory was probably John Gruden when he came in that first season and traded away Khalil Mack and traded away Amari Cooper. That was
how many years did he have, Pharaoh? How many years was his contract?
Yeah, he gave him a 10-year deal, but that 10-year deal, I'd never agreed with that. But it's your point to say, like, he saw it down the line to say, like, I got to rebuild. It's 10 years. You know what I mean? I got time. I can do shit. Pete got 3. There ain't no talk about that. There is no thought process like that. Right. Well, and to be fair, coaches are always they're gonna be more shorter term than a GM. But when you give when you give Pete like the amount of, I was kind of surprised, but they gave him I get it. I mean, Pete has that resume, but to a certain extent, but they've given him a little bit more power, because I've seen like we can look back at the offseason and be like, that was a Pete Carroll move. That drafting Genty, that's all. That's Pete Carroll. That's Pete Carroll.
A lot of it.
You know what I mean? Spytek, he's drafted guys in the later rounds as far as running backs and been successful. He did that with
Bucky Irvin 2 years ago.
But Bucky Irvin. So for them to draft someone early, who a guy like Pete Carroll is used to doing, he's drafted running backs early, so that's something that he's used to. That's a Pete Carroll move. A guy like Amari Cooper,
Pete Carroll.
Porter, yep, that's a Pete Carroll pick. And then you got the Amari Cooper, so obviously didn't end up playing for the Raiders, but they signed him right before the season. That was a Pete Carroll move. But there's plenty of other moves where you could be like, that's a Pete Carroll move. That's a it's just at some point I'm looking at it from this perspective. I'm like, the Raiders are obviously not a good football team. They're not going to finish with a good record. Do they want Pete Carroll to be a part of starting this rebuild? And part of starting this rebuild might possibly mean taking a quarterback early. And I'm like, man, personally,
any Raider fan, Pharaoh, because I already know where you're going, bro. Any Raider fan that can sit here and tell you that they're confident in Pete Carroll having, listen to this, y'all are really confident with Pete Carroll having a top 3 pick, $100+ million in cap space to freely spend, right? And him to select the quarterback, pro bono. That's what y'all comfortable with? Fuck no. Hell no. Hey, he's not even managed the draft picks from this year right. and you willing to give this man more, even more valuable picks? Dog, get this. We watched Blue Kelly for 4 quarters today, didn't we? Blue Kelly for 4 quarters.
It's trash.
I thought Pete Carroll was the corner whisperer. What happened? So now Darian Porter can't find the field, dog. He can't find the field. And it'd be different if Porter was absolute garbage. But he's actually been in there and he's been fine. Porter's been okay. But yet he can't find the field. And not only to make it worse, why was JPJ benched today? For what? Why'd he get benched? To put Alex Kaplan? See, that's the type of shit that is starting to get on my nerves with Pete Carroll, because he does that favoritism shit. And you posted something about this, I guess, a couple weeks ago, but remember that Marshawn video you posted? It's all fruition right now, bro. The reason why Seattle ended was because motherfuckers thought he was over there doing favoritism with the players, right? And it was certain players he likes, certain players he treat different. He's doing it now, right before our very eyes. Why are certain players getting benched, not getting benched? Why does Gino continue to trot out there until it's pretty much clear now? Like, I guess I have to. I guess I got to play Kenny Pickett now. And you put him, and this is the thing, everybody's going to get on Kenny for the fumble, but look at the position he was put in. Look where he got thrust in. They just throw his ass in there, huh? Like, come on, bro. Like, it's complete mismanagement of the roster, of the team. And this man is a 75-year-old coach. We talking about it with AP. At least there was a floor. This man's a first-year coach. All right, shit, it ain't work out. We give him another year. If he's ass like this halfway through the season, easy enough. Fire his ass. Cool enough. But guess what? We can't. Now we go through another coach, another philosophy, and it definitely seems like the team is not listening to him right now. They're checked out.
Yeah, you got to question if they're going to check out or if they're checking out already, because obviously the tackling was like the defense, like it felt like they didn't give up.
Yeah, they ain't give up.
Like they gave up at some point in the second quarter. I mean, I know that first drive they scored, like it was like a 90-yard drive. It didn't matter what field position that the Chiefs were getting; they were just going all the way down and scoring anyways. But the tackling, the lack of the tackling, that was like a first sign. I was like, bro, yeah, it's game over.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, my guy Ray, I want to speak to this real quick. Ray says, I believe two things can be both right. AP wasn't ready to be a head coach, and Pete was a bad hire. I believe both are true. Remember, AP isn't hired by anyone. The NFL let you know how they value him as a coach. I don't know if that's 100% like a good way of saying why AP isn't good, because there's plenty of coaches who go into media.
Mike McCarthy's not hired either. Mike McCarthy's more accomplished, but it's like that don't mean he's trash. He's just not hired.
And I want to say this, because a lot of people will be like, "Well, just get into like a back and forth. Well, AP did this and AP did that." I'm not saying AP was perfect. I'm saying what I'm saying is I'm looking at the Raiders and being like, this should be a rebuild. Who do we get? Who do we hire that we know we can hire that can lead this franchise during a rebuild? It's not really a lot of options. Oh man, we don't really have a quarterback on a roster.
We can't really get one in the draft either.
You should have ran it back with AP. Let him develop as a head coach. People don't agree with it, but it is what it is. Let him develop. We'll do whatever you want to do with him, and then reevaluate the job again, because what happens is right now the Raiders are getting caught in this coaching hire cycle where they're firing coaches after 1 year. Now it's like, I don't even want to say fire Pete Carroll. I don't even want to say that. I don't want to say fire a head coach after 1 year.
There, bro.
I understand, but what I'm saying is that I understand, like, you shouldn't fire a head coach after 1 year. You got to give him more time, especially if you can honestly look at this roster and be like, hey, is this a playoff contending roster? And if your answer is no, then you got to give that guy more time. My point is that now they paint himself in a corner with a 75-year-old head coach do you see him being a part of a rebuild? Does he want to be a part of rebuild? He's kind of playing games with us during these pressers. When people are asking him, they asked him today, how do you feel about playing the young guys? He's like, oh, that's always been our thing. Get your ass.
No, it's not.
Get out
Shut
of here,
up,
bro.
Shut up. See, look.
Tonka Hemingway and JJ Pegues, rookie D tackles,
Inactive.
have been active the last couple of games. We've been asking for Jack Pesh to get PT or get some snaps. You know, he's just now getting snaps. I think the last few games he's been getting snaps. And then obviously with the Myers, you know, him being, you know, inactive because of injury.
He's getting traded, bro. He's getting traded.
Oh yeah, he's getting traded.
Because he was all on the sideline. He was over there working with that cast. Now he might have something. Something might be bothering him, but he was over there working with some little air cast before the game. I was like, boy, if you don't take that shit off, man, we know what time it is, bro. You're not gonna be here. Take that shit off. All right, it's fine. But this is where I'm at, bro. And I've said this for a minute. And I do understand the logic of saying, like, we don't want to become that franchise to say we're firing coaches year in and year out. And I get you. I do get it. 100%. But I'm one of them people, and I'm of the mindset, bro, I don't give a fuck what it look like. As long as I get it right, I don't care. And this is where I'm at, right? With Pete, it could be salvageable for me if it didn't look like this. Like, I wouldn't even be saying this. If we were losing, I expect us to kind of not be that good. But if we were competitive and there's like, you can obviously see the deficiencies and they're just obvious and glaring, and it's just like, well, we're not just going to be able to do shit about this year. You know what I mean? So then at that point, okay, we can go about it a different way. We can have a different mindset to say, well, give Pete some more time to stack and to learn and to grow his guys, right? And then there we go. If he was playing the young guys, if he was playing some of these younger draft picks and they were just going through these growing pains and all the extra, okay, sure. But that's not what was being advertised, right? And he advertised to us that he would wanted to win 10 games. He said that. Nobody else said that shit. We didn't come out and expect that. He came out and said that because that's how he truly felt when he grabbed Geno and all the extra. And to me, when a coach seems like they've lost the locker room and lost the message, because you even said it at halftime, and I don't think nobody even kept talking about it. When Jamal Adams said that shit last week about we started to question things and all the extra, what that mean? You know what I mean? What that mean? And we're saying this in week 7. This is week 7. Yeah. So if you're already losing the locker room and shit like this, how is he going to get it back? And that's the next question, bro. Like, I want a fresh face in here, and it just all boils down to this. Are you trusting Pete Carroll with a top 3 pick? No, sir.
Yeah, man.
No, sir.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, sir.
I rather if you're gonna draft a rookie QB, I rather him come into a situation where there's some level of stability. I don't want a guy to be there. That's like, oh man, I hate it, bro.
Because we're gonna do the Titans, bro. Because that's why. Another thing, I don't like drafting a quarterback when your coach is on kind of like the hot seat. You feel what I'm saying? Like, because that's just what the Titans did. That's just what the Bears did. Now your quarterback is going to be on his second head coach in his second year. I don't want to do that. I want to fuck around, get the new coach now, get him now, right? If we have the top 3 pick, and let him select the guy. Let the new coach be like, this is him and Brady. This is the motherfucker I want. So guess what? In 4 years, when that quarterback contract come up, now we can evaluate who's good, who's not good, who, you know what I mean? And then we go about it that way. But because we ain't tried that route either. I doubt we have tried that route. We've only been doing Band-Aid shit.
Hey, Bosco, man, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. Y'all might not like this, but Mark Davis is a big fraction of the problem because normal franchise let GMs hire head coaches. Ever since Mark and Reggie fell out, Mark has been reassembling the GM and coach. Yeah, facts. And you know what's ironic about that whole situation? The last
Didn't they
his
just
best
get seen again?
Yeah. You talking about last game against last game against Tennessee. I think he's out there in Tennessee. But
that was okay.
But yeah. And what's ironic about this comment about Reggie McKenzie is that's probably the best talent evaluator the Raiders have had.
Yeah, for real. It is.
Reggie McKenzie got them out of cap hell. You know, him and probably, you know, one of the guys in the building, his ex in the building that helped get him out of cap hell because of all those bad Al Davis contracts. And then he's able to develop the roster and had that great 2014 draft. That was franchise altering 2014 draft. I mean, when I say franchise altering, a lot of those guys were with the team for a long time. A lot of the players that he drafted were in the NFL currently for a long time. You know what I mean?
Still playing. Yeah, they're still playing.
Are still playing. So, yeah, Mark is definitely part of the problem. The other side to it is I kind of give him a little bit of like, okay, he's trying to figure it out because he's never owned a football team. You know, he's always been Al Davis' son. He's never really been a part of like running the team. Al Davis has kind of been in charge. It's not like a Jerry Jones situation with his son where he's kind of like groomed him. He's groomed him to be that guy. He's groomed him to you could tell Jerry Jones' son is going to take over, and you could see him kind of doing well after that. It's not been the same type of situation. So we'll see what happens.
I'm right with you. I don't get the Mark blame, especially this year, bro. Especially this year. Some of y'all, and I don't know, you know, it's definitely not some of y'all. If the shoe don't fit, don't wear it.
What he's saying though, what he's saying is that Spytek didn't choose the head coach. Who chose the head coach?
I thought it was this firm that he hired.
Remember, look, just pay attention to timeline. Who was getting interviewed first? Pete Carroll got interviewed before we heard Spytek got the job. So that's why. So what I'm saying is that Tom Brady and whoever, you know, whatever team that, you know, Mark Davis has built on that side, they were doing everything like we're gonna match it with the people that we want, instead of like, nah, you let the GM and maybe hey, look, they hire a 75-year-old Pete Carroll. Maybe, you know, Spytek has a little bit more say in who he wants in the building. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
As he should. I mean, I think if that's how you're gonna go the route and Spytek stays, then yeah, that's what you should do. You know, I don't personally get the Mark blame, especially this year, bro. But it's like, you know, with the fans, he's done what you've wanted. He's done what you've wanted, especially over the past 2 years, 3 years. Y'all said fire AP, he fired AP. Y'all said fire Josh McDaniels, he fired Josh McDaniels. That's what y'all wanted him to do right now. As far as the hiring of Pete and shit goes, right? Let's be honest with ourselves. Who wanted to come here this year? Who was gonna come here? After we got, you know, yanked around by Ben Johnson and all that, what were the options? Where? Now we could have, you could have fucked around, tried. Now I know for sure I wanted Mike Vrabel. I know for sure I wanted Mike Vrabel, but Mike Vrabel was, once that Patriots job opened up, that was pretty much a wrap, right? That was pretty much a wrap. He was definitely going to go there. Kellen Moore was available. You could have took a shot on that. Fuck it. You know what I mean? He has the Saints at least looking competitive, at least. But there's nobody realistic that was going to come here, dog. Why? Again, I'm going to say it again. You ain't got no fucking quarterback. There's no way to get a quarterback, and there's no way to draft your own unless you were going to be aggressive to move up and do that. So as of right now, that's not what no offensive young coach is going to come here and stake their offensive careers on some retread that they don't know. Hell no. Fuck no. For what? And I'm not going to get another job after that. You know what I mean? So if I'm let's just say if I'm a Ben Johnson, why would I come here? To do what? To look shitty and then everybody tell me I don't know what I'm doing, and then after that I got to go somewhere else and get another job and try to scrap and claw to get another head coaching job. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go somewhere else that has a quarterback that I can at least build on. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, man. And you know, shout out to Justin and the DJ. He makes also another point is the message that is lost in translation is when the QB is one of the main problems and they're protecting him. Yeah, facts. That's been a problem. If you want to really boil it down even more, that's been a problem since his Seattle days with Russell Wilson and that team, and you know, that was one of the things that broke up the team was the fact that they treated Russell Wilson differently from everybody on that team, and he's done it with Geno Smith. I understand quarterback's the most important position, but if you're sending a message of compete and you're trying to be this transparent and, you know, everybody's on the same playing field type of deal, and then you treat one guy differently, the message kind of empty
Oh,
at
it's
that
always
point.
gonna. But that's what he did with Russ too, didn't he? I mean, I feel like that's what he kind of did with Russ in Seattle. And Bosco, I see exactly what you're saying. I'm only saying with this new head coach that we get, the only thing I want this man in the draft room saying is I want this quarterback. That's the only thing he needs to be bullish on. Everybody else, we can have discussion and we can talk and we can deliberate. But when it comes to quarterback, this new coach got to have in mind, this is my guy. This is who I want. This is who's going to make it work. Because that's the only way it works. You feel what I'm saying? That's the only way. And that's what every other coach has done in here. What's the Giants score, by the way? I don't even know what that score is. Don't even get me started. They better not be winning that game, bro.
Ah, damn, Cowboys is winning. Damn, I picked the Giants.
Let me see.
Yeah. But let's see.
Bro,
Lake
the
Show
Giants are winning 19-8 right now, dog. They're winning 19-8 against Denver, right? And guess what the coach did? He located his quarterback and said, that's the dude I want to run my offense. And now look, not saying this man going to be a Hall of Famer, but he's running the offense how the coach wants. And there we are, bro.
Right.
There
That's a
we
good point. That's a good point because I've kind of talked about like how the Raiders have addressed like the quarterback position over the years. Over the last few years, it's been terrible. It's been terrible. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, we 2024 draft for all those quarterbacks. Oh, we didn't. There wasn't a chance that the Raiders were going to draft one of those guys. But what I'm saying is that when you don't have a franchise QB, it doesn't mean that you don't. It doesn't mean that you stop looking for quarterbacks after the first round. There's still other rounds to address the position and add talent to the room, and then see what you got, see what you can develop, and then you reevaluate the following year. Like let's like look, you could talk about some guys like Spencer Rattler. I don't know what he did today, but I know
he was okay. He was all right. He had some turnovers, but it's like out of everybody that they said was ass, people are playing this year.
Yeah, but my point is not to say that none of those guys are going to be the future. It's more like add talent to that room and see who you can develop and see who could possibly be a value to you. Because it's not like every quarterback in the NFL that's starting was drafted in the first round.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There's certain quarterbacks that get drafted in the second round. There's certain quarterbacks that got drafted in the third, the fourth. You know what I mean? Guys that come to mind, I'm thinking of, Dak Prescott was drafted in the fourth round. Yeah. Spencer Rattler was drafted in the fifth round. He started. You got Geno Smith drafted in the second round. There's plenty of other quarterbacks. Not every quarterback is drafted in the first round. And I'm not saying that like I don't want the Raiders to draft a quarterback, but it's going to be a chance. There's going to be a possible chance. There's going to be a possible chance. I know a lot of people don't want to hear this. Is that the Raiders might not be able to get the top guys. So they're going to be in the same situation that they were the last couple years, meaning that like there's going to be a best player available situation. Are you going to reach and go for a quarterback? Or are you going to go and get a talented player at a premium position or just talented player overall? I'd rather get the best player. I don't want us to reach for a quarterback. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you still can address that position. The Raiders have failed to do that in the draft. They just been like, oh, we'll go with Geno Smith and that's it. And Cam Miller in the sixth round. That's not gonna get it done.
Yeah, it's gotta make sense, bro. It's just like you saying, it's gotta make sense. Now there could be a scenario where you could say maybe we trade back up to get one in the first because you would want that fifth year, right? You want that fifth year option for him. Because if you get him in the second round, you don't got no fifth year option. You got to pay him sooner. So that's a different conversation, but it's just got to make sense. Now, if you're in the top three, you for shit show probably getting one. I mean, there's no other choice. If you're in the top three, you just take your pick on which one you like. Now, this conversation that you're talking about applies if they fuck around and win some dumbass games at the end of this year. And now we sitting at pick 7, pick 8.
Pete Carroll's gonna win some dumbass games. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, probably.
He's trying to win. Even when the question was asked about playing young players, we can go ahead and play that clip. And I want you to let me go ahead and I'm gonna set up the clip in a second, man. But address this real quick. I'm gonna play that clip. Lake Show.
At this point, man, everybody has checked out. Yep, we need to just lose out, bring in Cliff Kingsbury or draft a QB. I don't know about Cliff, but I like where your vision's at. I'm done with Pete and Geno, bro. Never liked him from the start. And I knew this would happen. Yeah, it's ugly work, bro. It's very ugly work. Getting the offensive guy that can at least identify his quarterback, that would work. There's at least 2 to 3 quarterbacks right now that I would fuck with immediately if we had the chance, and I take them no brainer. So that's where I'm at. Last time we took an Alabama quarterback as a franchise, it worked out. Damn it, let's take one. Let's take another.
There you go. I mean, you don't have anything against the guy that just only had 1 year of starting in college. You think that might be an issue?
The moments he done showed up, bro. He done showed up in these moments. Like it's like he's going in Georgia. He's going in some of these SEC schools. You know what I mean? Playing well. I want to see him in the playoffs. If he has another like moment in the playoffs, I'm gonna solidify it because Burrow was the same shit. Remember, nobody knew about Burrow, and then as soon as he started getting in these big stages and big moments, you were like, all right, there it is. You know, what I mean?
Burrow didn't start before that year, that Heisman year.
That was his first year.
Okay,
that was his first year. So it's like Burrow kind of changed the way people kind of look at it because it's like, okay, well maybe. You know what I mean? Like the thing is, Simpson is I think he's a junior though, so he's kind of like he's older. He just ain't played.
Yeah, but usually like people say like if you don't get
you need all that experience
or whatever. Yeah. Well, it's not necessarily mean that like because I heard we played a clip last week on the 50-50 show, and it was Drew Brees talking about like how quarterbacks need at least 50 starts. So if they don't get those 50 starts in college, you got to incorporate that 50 starts in the NFL. So if they got like part of it in college, then in the NFL, they got to get the other part to like an extra 2-3 years before you can say, oh, this guy is not the guy.
I wouldn't be mad at taking one and like, what if you just like took him and sat him? You know what I mean? For a little bit, just be like, sit for a year or half the year. Like just maybe how the Giants had the plan, right? Where it's like, we have a quote unquote a Russ, if we start out ass, then you just throw him in. You know what I mean? That could kind of be it right there. But some of these throws he's making, dog, these are like NFL fucking throws.
Right.
Consistently.
Yeah.
That Mendoza, I do like Mendoza, but I don't know.
I don't know if I like him as much as
he give me Kirk Cousins vibes, bro.
He scared me. He scared me a little bit.
Yeah, he give me Kirk Cousins vibes. I don't know why.
Yeah, man. And then like he not AOC like statue back there.
I thought he was at first too.
He's not that bad or whatever, but and now Lake Show he mentions Cliff Kingsbury. I don't know how you feel about this, but I don't want Cliff Kingsbury because that boy, he did us dirty.
I don't know about Cliff, bro. I don't know about Cliff. I'm more on the Joe Brady train.
It makes sense. Cliff makes sense because he knows how to work with these young QBs.
He does.
He did it. He worked well with Jane Daniels. He's worked with like Patrick Mahomes in college. Like he's worked with a lot of these young quarterbacks coming out. So
Kyler Murray had his best years.
I understand it, but it's just like man, like I don't know how you feel about him as head coach. But let me play this clip. Let me play this clip. Yeah. Let me play this clip. This is Pete Carroll being asked about playing the young guys, and I want to hear if he sounds like a guy that is all in on doing that. Oh my bad.
2-5 Pete coming into a bye week. Do you switch attention more? 2-5 Pete coming into a bye week. Do you switch attention more for future? Maybe looking at younger players, or is your focus still totally 2025?
We've always done that. We've always given the younger guys some extra opportunities in these practices because they've missed opportunities.
Liars.
So
practices. He said practice.
But we're moving ahead. This is the next game coming up is huge to us, and so we'll be preparing for that simultaneously.
So he said simultaneously. So, but he's still trying to win, bro.
He's still trying to go out. They just get here and lie. That's all they do.
So the reason why I played that was to get an idea of like, hey, is P's all in? He wants to win. So that's why I want to create an expectation. Is like there's a chance that the Raiders they're not going to finish in the top 3, top 5. There's about like if you look, hey, you know what? Let's go look at I'm gonna pull up where the Raiders currently stand. Because this is where we at
now,
right now.
The only positive thing from that, Pharaoh, is that we can say the talent is going to make sure that we get to that top 3 pick. Because we ain't got no talent. We ain't got no talent on the team. So we go for sure make sure. Now, I see Dante in here, ECG. Shout out to the guy. He said Ty is a redshirt junior. So he said he's played in games every single year up until now. Was he with Saban? I feel like he might have been with with Saban probably at this point if he'd been in Alabama the whole time, or did he transfer with DeBoer? That'd be the question.
1 second here. Let me make sure.
Oh, Gearson. Oh, he's starting already, Pharaoh. He's starting already, bro. Just put in O'Connell. See what he does. No, it's not gonna be better. It's not gonna be better,
bro. Hey, what is this like romanticizing AOC?
Okay.
Like it just like Raider fans. There's some Raider fans that got this love affair with Aiden O'Connell, man. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, bro. He's not good. He's not good.
No,
he's not the answer.
He's not.
He's not good. Worse. He's not the answer. At best, Aiden O'Connell is a backup quarterback. At best. I don't understand why people are like, hey, if Aiden O'Connell was in the Aiden O'Connell wouldn't have done shit. Aiden O'Connell's been with this team. He's got plenty of time, plenty of starts, and he hasn't really shown a lot, if anything at all.
If he was gonna be that guy already, right? Like there are quarterbacks from his draft class that are already shown. Shit, isn't Spencer Rattler from his draft class? There's guys.
He got drafted the year before. The year before.
Okay.
The 2023. He got drafted 2023 in the fifth round or something like that. Or was it that? It was either 2022 or 2023, one of those drafts.
Cause wasn't this boy O'Connell?
Because last year was his second year in the league. Last year was his second year.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So to put perspective of what I was trying to say earlier, of like Raider Nation need to be prepared that they might not be close enough to draft some of the top guys. They're picking number seventh overall currently in the draft. Now there's a long way to go before the standings get solidified. But look at some of these bad teams ahead of the Raiders, because Raiders are bad, but there's some other bad teams. The Jets, are they still winless? I think the Jets are still winless.
They're gonna pick a quarterback.
Miami's terrible.
They'll probably pick a quarterback.
New Orleans is a bad team. Tennessee, that was our only. Tennessee's a team we beat, and that was a terrible team. We seen firsthand.
Yeah, luckily they don't need one.
The Ravens are Ravens are get richer situation. I just hate that they're picking that high.
For sure.
Cleveland is picking at number 6, right ahead of the Raiders.
They won't pick a quarterback, I don't think.
I mean, the way they're treating Shador and
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's 2 down already, though. Like that's 2 down in the first half, or in the first couple picks already. And this class ain't like a couple years ago where it's like, well, okay, 2 are down, you still got another one. No, like it's only like really 2 that can be picked in 2 or 3. That's first round dudes. So, there we are, man. Once again we lose out.
Well, yeah, it's still early. We'll see how it shakes out or whatever. But it's like, what I'm saying is that, like, we shouldn't say something is automatic when it's not a guarantee. So when it's not a guarantee, meaning that, like, if they're not going to be able to get the top guys, what do they do now? Like, that's been the problem with the Raiders. They haven't been able to pivot. They haven't been able to, like,
getting a linebacker. I think we talked about that Arvell Reese.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenarios. The safety. Caleb Downs. I've seen Caleb Downs. I've seen Arvell Reese.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I've seen some guys talk about wide receiver. You know what I mean? Because we don't really have a true number 1. And then
these are good players.
If we trade away Jacoby Myers, then it makes the wide receivers even more of a glaring. Like, damn, we need a guy that clearly can scare the safety. You know what I mean? Like, to at least scare the defense a little bit. But man, it's a lot of different ways they can go if it's not quarterback early on. But my thing is like, well, how do we pivot? It doesn't mean, look, because you got to remember the Giants, the Giants, they traded back into the first round to draft your quarterback, the quarterback they got currently right now. They traded up into the first round, I believe. They didn't take him in the top 5, top 10 or whatever. They didn't take him early. A lot of these teams passed up on him. But they traded back in the first round. The Raiders can go ahead and do that, but they haven't shown that they can do that. They haven't shown that, like, they can pivot and they can, like, reevaluate the position in the second round and, like, take the next best guy or whatever the case may be. We'll see. We'll see how they go after.
What's
this,
up with
'cause
the Colts game? You know what's up with that Colts game?
the Colts game? Let me pull up the. Let's see.
Oh my God, dog! Jesus
What
Christ!
happened?
I don't even
What
want.
happened?
You want me to tell you the score, bro? They whooping the Chargers' ass 30-24.
38-24. Yeah, man.
24, bro.
Nah,
Even the
Colts
Colts can get Daniel Jones and be
Yeah,
better.
but Steichen, bro. Like I was hoping that he got fired this year. I was like, oh, if he gets fired,
So you could take him for the OC, yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
hire him as an offensive coordinator, and we'll be good for the next like 10 years, just for years. Because everywhere he's gone, like he's the reason why the Raiders signed Gardner Minshew to a contract, because he had his best season
100%.
under Steichen, and now Daniel Jones is
100%.
having a career year. You know what I'm saying? So it's like those types of guys, like you want to keep them in the building.
Oh.
Hopefully,
26-8 Giants. Oh my God, dog. Yeah, it's, you know what, bro? Look, let's, because I know we might end it out here in a little bit for sure, because we done talked about this motherfucker at length. But
right?
yeah, I will say this, bro. I will say this just to piggyback on all our points. It's how much can we take? You know what I mean? How much can we take? We see all these other teams take leaps, and they have their moments in the sun. You feel what I'm saying? But when it come to us, bro, like we got to continuously have this abuse year in and year out, bro. And it's like there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do. They're a little bit portion of me wants to really rant and get on specific players, but it's like at this point, they don't give a fuck. Why should we give a fuck? To be honest.
Hey, just another DJ. Hey, man, my guy, man. I already know you're not coming from a place of like, you know what you're talking about. I get you. I'm with you 100%. But what happens if the Raiders in a position where they're drafting high and there's not really a quarterback there that really makes sense to take at that number whatever in the top 10? It doesn't make any sense. And the best player available is technically in a position of need, like a wide receiver. Or if it's an offensive line, we've been talking about trenches here for a minute, the trenches. So obviously if the best player is there, then we go there. But if it's clearly a wide receiver, and technically if you look at our need, we don't really have a true X number one wide receiver, then it kind of makes sense to go in that direction instead of reaching for a quarterback. My thing is this: Raiders can easily go ahead and like they can have a big board, right? They can have a big board of the best players at every position, and when they get to that set, when they get past their pick in the first round, they can always trade back into the first. I'm not saying that's an automatic, but that's a possibility that the Raiders haven't shown. Or they could draft a guy in the second round, third round. They just haven't done that yet. Like they haven't prioritized the quarterback position that you would think that a team that doesn't have a quarterback would do. But if the best player on the board is a wide receiver and a quarterback is not, then I'm going for that wide receiver. Easy. And it's hard for me. I understand the quarterback situation is bad, but I got to keep it real.
Yeah, bro. I'm just, I'm this coming from a younger, frustrated fan, bro. Like I'm doing whatever I can to secure a quarterback. Now, what you're talking about for sure, like it's got to be right. It's got to be right.
You don't understand. Look, you don't understand, bro. You don't understand. I've seen terrible quarterback play. I've seen it. You don't know what it was like pre-Derek Carr.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that.
I'm talking about the Bruce Gradkowskis, the Rick Myers. I'm talking about the Andrew Walters. I'm talking about all these quarterbacks, the Dante Culpeppers, the Aaron Brooks, like Kerry Collins, like just bad QB after bad QB.
Yeah, it's got to make sense
QB.
for sure. Like it's got to make sense, as far as what we do. Because I'm not gonna sit here and say and like be like, oh man, let's take a fucking a Cade Klubnik and Ruben Bain is like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna do that. But if there's debate and we're like, I would like this quarterback, but then there's this dude here. No, fuck that. Take the quarterback. It is what it is, bro. Like to me. because we are at a place at stacking talent. We need to stack talent. And I'm just at the point where it's like, if we're at that point of stacking talent, we need to stack it at the most important position. You feel what I'm saying? Which is like, get this motherfucker in here. At least we know we have this. You know what I mean? So now it can be like, all right, bro, we can build off that. Now, like you saying, it does have to make sense about what we're doing. And at the same time, the person who selects this guy, we have to trust that he's being developed properly. And right now, the staff that's in place, let's just say the head dude, the head guy, I don't believe can develop a quarterback. I don't give a fuck what Super Bowl he's won, what championship he's gotten to. I don't believe Pete Carroll can develop a young quarterback. Some of y'all might be mad at this. Chip Kelly is a different story. I think Chip Kelly actually can work with a young quarterback. He just did last year. So it's not going to be much different. I think Chip can actually work with a quarterback, a younger one, better than Pete Carroll can. I just don't trust the fact, and it's the only problem. We got our head man here to do that. Now, we got to get somebody else with better vision, right? Somebody else with better vision that knows what they're doing, knows how to flesh out a roster, knows how to really develop young talent. I think that's what goes on, because Pete claims he knows how to do that, but Pete ain't developed no young talent since fucking 2012. Right? Like, let's be real. Like, you know what I mean? He ain't developed no goddamn young talent since then, bro. He's had a couple gems here and there, but he ain't really developed and fleshed out a roster since like 2011, 2010, bro. So other than that, he just going off of his old ass playbook. He going off his old ass playbook. I'm not saying let Chip run the show. Don't get me wrong, Adam. I did not say that. I said as far as working with a young quarterback, I'm trusting Chip 100% before I'm trusting Pete Carroll.
Yeah, Adam says DC was that last good QB we had, and he wasn't even that good. Yeah,
this is true. Yeah. I mean, he was mid. He was mid.
But he was better. He's been better. He's better than
whenever the fuck we had. Yeah,
every quarterback since he's been gone. I'll tell you that. That's easy.
Yep. 100%. Yeah, 100%.
The wide receiver position relies on too much to maximize the talent, O-line talent, the right QB to get him the ball.
I agree.
No.
There's
Look,
no dog.
I've been adamant saying that we need to prioritize the trenches, and I feel like there might be an opportunity there. You might be able to get a guy like in the somewhere in that top 10, top 15. You know what I mean? And you can get an offensive lineman, or you can get someone in the defensive line. I'm all for that because those are areas of big needs. Like outside of Max, like this is yet another game where the pass rusher is non-existent. They have not been able to get to the quarterback. My guy, not even my guy, forget this dude. Patrick Mahomes, he has all day back there. You give that quarterback all day, it's over. It's and
that's what he
over.
did today. He picked us apart, dog. I mean, there's no pressure. There's none of that.
No pressure. And when there was nobody open, he just would. He ran. You know, it's just that they couldn't do anything. They couldn't do anything.
Bosco, I see he said something interesting right here where he said about we should have kept DC until we found his replacement. Two things about that, just for me, and I want to know how you feel too. I think where we fucked up is when the Colts wanted those 2 first rounders or were willing to give us 2 first rounders that year for Derek Carr. We should have did that. That's what we should have did. You know what I mean? And gave him to the Colts for them 2 first rounders, and then use that capital, whatever you wanted to do, to find his replacement. Then I forgot what year that was, so I would have to look and see what year that would have been. But when they wanted that, we all knew Derek Carr ain't worth no fucking 2 first rounders, but they were willing to give it to us. We should have did it. You know what I mean? And just been like, hey, boom, and then get your quarterback from there. And secondly, I don't know if DC was willing to even be no mentor like that. You know how he was, bro, when he was here. Like anytime you brought some competition, he was.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Look, my point. Okay, I'll chime in on this too. Hindsight is 2020. Yeah, obviously we want to get something for a DC. We could get a couple first rounds. We didn't get anything. That was the problem. We didn't get anything, and that's on Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels, because they pushed himself in a corner where they gave him a no trade clause, and then they signed him to essentially like a 1-year deal where they can get out of it. But what they didn't think about is like not getting anything for him. That's just bad business. It's just not how good teams make good football decisions. If they weren't all in on Derek Carr, they should have traded him that year.
100%.
And they probably could have got a first round pick, second round pick that offseason before that 20, but then at the end of the day, they probably wouldn't have gotten Devontae and all that. So it's like it can go both ways. But look, man, like it's hindsight is 2020, bro. We could talk about like what
say, bro.
We could talk about like what could have happened, and we could have traded DC and this, that, and the
Oh, there's
third.
plenty of steps, bro, that I feel like as fans, we could have had this team as contenders like 5-6 years ago. You know what I mean? Like 5-6 years ago, if certain moves were made that even as fans, we know like we got to make these moves, we would have been already in a position in the AFC to do things that we want to do, right? But it's constant misstep after misstep after misstep, right? So, and that's exactly where we are right now, bro. We're just in a constant retread of missteps that we can't get right. And it's so frustrating because as a fan, like, especially Raider fan, you watch enough Raider football, you clearly see what the team needs to do, how we need to maneuver going forward. You know what I mean? But it's like the team says that, looks at that, or maybe it is Mark. You know, whoever watches us podcasters, listens to the fans, because trust me, and I know you know, Pharaoh, they do. They watch us. They watch other motherfuckers, whatever the case. They just watch us, get frustrated, and probably laugh their ass off, dog. Because who gives a fuck? And just you, I don't know if you want me to say this, but I'll say it now, bro. Because it just, I have to say this. I have to get this out, bro. That's the shit that was getting on my nerves when Geno gave his presser the first time, right? Where he sat there. I know we talked about it that first time, and I have to get it off my chest, bro, because it's been bothering me for like 3 weeks. When he sat there and said, "Oh man, you know, there are some people that are at home that wish they were in our position. You know, it's small-minded to focus on results. You know, that's for the fans to think about. You know, as for me, I think about the process and all the other shit. Boy, if you don't shut the fuck up with that bullshit that you talking about and spewing to me, what are you saying? Small-minded to talk about process? Yeah, the process is, or small-minded to think about results. The results is you threw 3 picks in a fucking game. What are we supposed to say to that? Right? And then you get on the presser talking, oh, there's some dudes that wish they were in my position. Oh, there's some dudes that wish they was in. I don't wish I was in front of fucking millions of people throwing 5-10 picks in a season. No, I don't.
No, it's no
Again,
accountability.
bro,
He's being enabled.
There's no accountability, bro.
No accountability.
None.
It's partly a big part of it is the coaching staff. Like they're not handling it.
They don't care, bro.
The way, okay,
care.
let's talk about this. The way they're not handling it the same way they're handling JPJ. JPJ was benched today.
Exactly.
He was benched for Kappa today. And
why is Blue Kelly get on the field all the time? Why?
And Pete Carroll went out his way to say it. Because you know, like I think Honda was like, oh yeah, because you know JPJ, he probably went down with injury. He's like, no, he didn't go down with injury. We went with Alex. We thought, you know, it's time to put Alex out there.
And whatever weird stuff they got going on with that, bro, but it's like, but with your quarterback, you get to come out here and you get to just spew excuses. Your quarterback gets to come out here and blame a 4th round wide receiver for running a route that, or for a ball that he shouldn't have thrown. What? But you know why, bro? You know why? Because they go home and they laugh. Geno goes home. He kicks his feet up. He says that he's in the presser that he watching film. No, he's not. He not watching no film. Because Geno, if you was watching film, you wouldn't have got intercepted the same way you got intercepted in week 2, the same way in week 4. Same interception. But guess what? You're watching film, though, right? You telling me you trying to get it together, right? No, you not,
right,
bro. Shut up. You just going home. You kicking your feet up, right? You're counting all that good Mark Davis bread that they gave you, and you saying, man, oh man, how can I fleece him again? That's what you saying, bro. I'm tired of motherfuckers taking no accountability.
Yeah, man, I hear you, man. And Just Another DJ says Max is 28 years old. This team is clearly in a rebuild that will take 2 to 3 years. His name is bigger than his game right now. Whoo! Man, that kind of sounded like a shot at Max. But I will say this, man, because that was a dirty play that the Chiefs, man.
That was dirty ass play, bro.
I hate the Chiefs. I hate the Chiefs, man. And one of these days they're gonna have something coming to them. Hopefully the team.
Yeah, that was a dirty ass play, bro.
Man, I want this. I want the Raiders to blow out the Chiefs, but you know, it's just they're not there yet. But I'll say this, and I know right now you're probably tired of hearing this, and a lot of people are tired of hearing this. They probably don't want to hear this because it's like, well, why would you Why would you want to trade your best player? But we just got done talking about, not to say that Derek Carr was their best player, but we looked at Derek Carr and was like, okay, here is where Derek Carr is with this current team and where they're at. How can we figure out a way to get to another level and build this team and get maybe a better talent? You mentioned how they could have got 2 first-round picks, or they could have got a first-round pick for Derek Carr. Why can't we do the same thing with Max Crosby? Not to say that he's a bad player. He's a great player. He's one of the best players in the NFL at his positions. But at the end of the day, we are where we're at right now. We're rebuilding, and he's 28 years old. He's in his prime. You want to capitalize it when his value is high. You want to get the most while his value is high, bro. And I think
we can't do that no more now.
And this is the reason why. This is the reason why I was like, hey, don't wait. Don't wait until he gets hurt. Don't wait till he gets hurt, or don't wait till he gets hurt, or you get pushed into a corner where he go, because you know what's gonna happen, right? Let's say if the Raiders make a move at head coach, you know he's gonna be like,
he gonna leave. Yeah, he gonna leave.
He gonna want to leave.
He gonna leave. Hey, bro,
come on, bro. Let's be real. Be a fan of the team, not the player, bro. Be a fan of the team and not the player, bro. You could be you could be both. You could be both, but also you got to keep it real. Like at the end of the day, like Max is gonna look for. He's gonna try to look for in the best interest of himself and his future, which he should.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm a fan, so I'm looking for the best interest of myself and my entertainment. And my entertainment
exactly
is watching this team. Exactly. And I want to see a great football team out there. So I'm like thinking like, man, like if I don't want it to be a situation where a good player leaves the Raiders and we get nothing. We get nothing or not close to his value.
Jacoby, if we don't hurry the fuck up and trade him.
I want us to trade Jacoby and get something for him because they're clearly not gonna re-sign him. They haven't done it. So
exactly. Get something for him, man. I'm tired of all that, bro. Like, I'm right with you. Max, I don't know. That's gonna have to be like a end of the season thing if that happens.
Sure.
That's gonna have to be an end of the season thing.
Hey, I'm with you, bro.
Damn.
Hey, look, I'm not saying trade Max for pennies. Exactly. Right here, Meezy, right here. I would trade Max for a Godfather. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to have to be after the season. It's going to be.
But you have to do it while his value is high. You can't wait till later on and be like, you can't be one of, well, we know Max is good. We can't accept. But the reality is he puts you in a corner. Teams are going to use excuse like, oh, what did Max do the last season or the last game? He didn't do much, right? Nah, you got to do it when his value's high, where everybody can see. Nah, that's an all pro, or that's basically an all pro type of level of player. You got to do it when that's how it works, bro. You can't do it while he's not doing well or he's hurt, which he did kind of get banged up today. Hopefully it's nothing serious. But I'm just saying we got to talk about these things because at the end of the day, like that's how the Raiders are going to get this rebuild going, but also make even better moves or get the quarterback that you're talking about. You get one of those quarterbacks. You get one of the top quarterbacks because now you have like the draft capital to trade up and get your guy and you can eventually build around him. And that's the bottom line, man. You got hit the quarterback position is like the most important position on the football field. We all know that. And if you have that ability to get that guy, like if you had to choose between a pass rusher and a quarterback and you don't have a quarterback or a pass rusher, you're going quarterback. If you had to choose between all these other positions and quarterback and you don't have a quarterback, you're going to go quarterback no matter what.
That's where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at, man. I mean,
$5 million dead cap hit. $5 million dead cap hit for Max if you trade him pre or post June 1st next season. I have no problem doing that.
Yeah, you have to do it. You have to do it in the offseason, bro.
You gotta do off season. Yeah, no. I'm not saying it has to be now. I'm not saying it has to.
But I don't got a problem with it. You know, it was just.
But
again, I'd have to see where I'm at.
Oh, you see, look. I could tell. Rundown. He don't want to lose. He don't want to lose Max.
Because it's got to be like this. It's got to be like this. If I'm at pick 9, right? If I'm at pick 9 and we're like, bro, we're not fucking like, we can't get nothing. You know what I mean? We're not about to get anything that's going to help us immediately. I'm going to have to do that. Like, I'm going to have to get some more capital for this man. Something. To be able to move up to do something. But if we already a top 3 pick, like, it is what it is. Like, fuck it. You know, we're already here, bro. We're already here.
Bro, if we're a top 3 pick, that means that we need a lot more than Max, and Max is only getting older. He's not getting younger. He's 28, and he's only going to get older, and he doesn't want to be a part of rebuild. It's clear. You heard you've seen like these comments here and there over the years, and then on top of that, this is how many coaches have he's gone through? Like, and I'm glad that you don't feel the same, because I can tell you don't want to trade Max. You don't want to trade Max. I'm not saying, but look, you don't want to trade Max. It's cool, bro. You don't want to trade. I get it. We don't want to trade a great player.
Bro. We ain't got no. And this is the next thing. You know what? I'm gonna tell you the real reason. I would be more willing if we were a good drafting team. If we were a good drafting team, I would sit there and be like, you know what, Pharaoh? You're right, bro. You know what I mean? Go ahead, do that. You know, we gotta look. But we're not. I don't trust that we're gonna use these picks correctly. That's why I don't trust we're gonna do that. We're gonna do the right thing.
But see that logic right there is where you can get in trouble, because now you're saying no to a logical move because you don't trust the decision maker. But in reality, is you pay the guy to be the decision maker, and you gotta make sure you make the right move.
But if you can't, so you gonna let Pete have that? You gonna let Pete do that?
I'm not saying Pete though. I'm not saying Pete. But I'm saying
it has to be somebody else. It's got to be somebody else. What
I'm saying is it's the Tom Brady's, it's the spy techs that's in the building. That's who I'm expecting to make these big time trades, whether it's trades or even drafting a player. These are what these guys are hired to do, to make these big decisions. And then you could probably, put it in with whatever coach that comes in. Maybe not, you know what I mean? Especially if it's a younger coach, probably not going to have a lot of.
That's what I'm saying. Because I'm looking at it in the lens right now of like, because I know you said it before, we keep Pete, right? Like he stays, or he would at least stay for this next year. So if we look at it in this lens, like that's why I'm like, for him,
bro, don't be selfish, bro. You don't be selfish,
bro.
We don't
it's
be
not
selfish.
Don't be selfish. He's not going to do the right thing. Now, this is what I'm saying. If it's a different coach.
No. I'm not saying with Pete. Well,
if it's a different coach, yeah, for sure. I'll do it. But a different coach.
But even
he has to have a long-term vision.
But even then, even if it's with Pete, right? Because I don't think Pete is going to be here long term. Even if it's not with Pete, I don't think it should stop you from making a good decision for the franchise. If it's a good decision for the franchise, one guy shouldn't stop you from making that decision. It shouldn't be because, and I understand what you're saying. You're saying you don't want Pete to be here to make those be in the decision. But I don't think after this year, I'm thinking Tom Brady and Spycheck gonna be like, they be like, hey, you can stay here one more year, but just let you know, like you ain't making none of these.
Because this is where I'm at, bro. Like it's like I don't. Like, my thing is, yes, logically, you're right. It made sense to trade Khalil Mack too, logically. Like, you know what I mean? It hurt, but
I didn't
at
agree
the same
with that
time,
one. That one was tough. Well,
it's tough, but you didn't need the capital.
Because but the thing is though, I hear what you're saying, but like that look, think about the Khalil Mack. Even though they technically got a great haul back, but the thing is, he didn't get paid after his rookie deal. How much money has Max gotten from the Raiders?
Oh, for sure. He's gotten that. You know what I'm saying? But either way, like in the terms of a rebuild still though, right? John Gruden saw we were not good and we needed to rebuild, right? So the best and logical way to do that, we're not winning with this dude and he's still good, we get rid of him. The only problem is, just like DJ said, I look at Pete Carroll's drafting the same like I look at John Gruden's, bro. So what like logically, yes, to trade Max for 2 first-rounders, cool. But then it's like,
let me paint a picture, bro.
If this nigga drafts Jonathan Abram and a fucking Leatherwood with those picks, what does it do?
But hold on. Let me paint a picture, right? Right now, Max is getting paid. He deservingly so. But you trade Max, right? You get those multiple first-round picks. They're probably going to be later in the draft because it's going to be for a good team is probably going to want to trade for him because they're ready to win now and they're going to make a run, right? But they're going to potentially get their QB. Shout out to DJ. They're going to be somewhere in that top 10 or whatever. It don't even matter if they're not even that top 5, top 3. Not to say I don't care. It's that like they're going to potentially get a top defensive player like the old boy from Miami. They can potentially get him, and then they can trade up into the first round or have another pick in the first round to draft a quarterback.
See,
so you can get your guy.
But we have to still be realistic about if you're gonna keep Pete, that shit that like they're not gonna do that. They're just not. And this is the next thing, right? Look, Perry said if you keep Pete after giving up Geno, Spytek and Pete are just gonna tell Pete, or Spytek and Brady are just gonna tell Pete, shut the fuck up, we'll do everything. But now we have an environment where the coach makes zero decisions. The coach has zero, I don't want to say, but has zero word on anything. Like, that's not a conducive environment either. Because what if they take a motherfucker that he don't want? We've seen that happen multiple times throughout the NFL and we already see that this motherfucker plays favoritism. So what do you think would happen if they draft somebody that he don't like and he don't already want? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just with Pete. Pete is what's holding this up for me because I don't feel the synergy. Like, and this is the next thing that I think we're leaving out that's very crucial. In a rebuild, bro, everybody has to be on the same page. Everybody. These motherfuckers right here are not on the same page right now. They're not. Right. So it's like,
true.
It's kind of hard for me to be like, all right, let's do it when the whole building isn't full force. Like, this is what we're going to do. You know what I mean? Right. Like, it just seems like a lot of back and forth right now.
Back and forth. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. No, I hear you on that one too. That's why I hated the hire. Cause I'm like, bro, like this dude wants to win now. And then I'm sure I could see a Spytek being like, okay, we got to rebuild. We got to build this thing right. But a Pete Carroll, I can't really see him do that. I don't think.
Me neither.
Just because of his age and like him wanting to prove that he could still do it because, you know, he didn't like how he went out with Seattle and he probably felt like people didn't believe in him and yada, 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 and this, that, and the third. He hears the noise as well as players hear the noise. But my guy Bosco says, y'all peep my conspiracy. I think this JPJ thing might involve money too. Bowers is the top tight end in the league. JPG would be best center if he plays. I think the front office sees. But actually, guards get paid more. Guards get paid more. Especially last couple years.
He would have just kept his ass at center for real if you was trying to, you know, save that bread.
Yeah, I think it has something to do they not like there's something going on with the coaching staff. Like they don't really.
Bro. They play favoritism. This is what it is, bro.
Yeah, and that shit, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That right
there.
That's
pee-wee shit, dog. That's pee-wee shit.
Come on, bro. Like I like that kind of shit. Like that's something that like, come on, bro. Get that
in
shit
the NFL, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, dog, you see that with your kids' football team or maybe some college team. You know what I mean? Maybe a couple college teams might do that. But in the NFL, where we're making money, bro, you got favoritism being played, and you're not just trying to play the guys that have the talent. You know what I mean? Like, it makes zero sense. The JPJ thing, I think everybody's gonna focus on because he got benched. You know what I mean? And I guarantee you, watch, we do this content shit. That's gonna be like a big topic of the week. Oh, why is JPJ benched? I want people to put your focus on Blue Kelly. I need somebody at Hondo on Twitter, at Vinny, at whoever's in that shit, and be like, why is Blue Kelly continue to get snaps? And we clearly see he's struggling. And Porter was not bad in the time that he was in there. So why does Kelly continue to get snaps? Why? Answer that question for me, Pete. Because it seems like you just love your certain guys, bro. You just love your certain guys. And this is the next thing. I think Pete's got to go because, and this is why I don't trust him trading Max. I don't think he knows how to manage talent, bro. I don't. Why are there guys there are guys that played well last year that are playing worse this year? And why is it? And some of them you could point to and be like, well, he wasn't playing that role last year. You know, like he wasn't doing that the last couple of years until Pete got in here. And now all of a sudden everybody switches shit around and now dudes are underperforming. Case in point, my dog Palomao.
Oh, hey,
what's up with my dog Palomao?
I'm not gonna lie, man. Now that I think about it, you know how goofy this is, bro. I'm just to piggyback off what you're saying about Pete Carroll. This is another Pete move. Remember earlier I was talking about you could look at certain moves and say that was a Pete Carroll move. And a Pete Carroll move was drafting Dante Thornton in the 4th round. I think the third or fourth round.
Talk about
And
it.
literally from day one, he was a starting X receiver. I'm like, man, they must be seeing a lot from him. He must be doing all types of crazy stuff. But this dude cannot get open underneath. Like he cannot
At all.
And it's like, and I think Pete knew. I think he knew because he wanted to sign Amari Cooper. He wanted to sign Amari Cooper. He knew, but he waited until the last possible way. And I think that might have been I think Vinny talked about it. He said it was like Pete Carroll and Spytek were going back and forth because like Spytek was like play the young guys, and then Pete wanted to get Amari Cooper the whole offseason.
I've been trying, and I just can't take it no more. I wouldn't trust Thornton to get open versus a parked car. Like like at this point, dog, he can't get open at all.
He
bro.
Can't get open
it's
at
like,
all, bro.
And it's like we've tried it multiple times. We've tried, but we cannot do it again, bro. Pete, I don't think he knows how to manage talent or spot the talent either, bro. At this point, that's why I don't want to give him those draft picks.
Evaluate.
I don't want to
evaluate talent. Evaluate.
Yeah,
talent?
I don't think he knows how to do that, bro. I don't, because like you got Thornton playing all these snaps. You got literally Porter, who you hand selected. You picked him. He's playing well. He's actually playing well, bro. But you continue to have Blue Kelly out there. You know what I mean? What's up with that? What's up with the D-line talent? Right? It's like when the D-line, it's fun, and it's so weird. When the D-line, as far as Tonka and JJ, they played well against the Colts. Didn't we come out here and was like, yeah, not bad. You know what I mean? It wasn't bad. It was all right. I'd like to see some more. But then you bench them again for healthy and active for what? And then guess what, bro? He got karma before the game because he enacted Pegues and Tonka, and then Adam Butler tweaked something in his fucking back. So now you're short a man. So that is karma for you. I don't know if he knows how to evaluate talent. I don't want to give him all that extra. Oh, damn, DJ. The Giants done lost it. Damn.
Oh, damn, they came back. Wow.
Bro, they was up 26-9. Yeah, no, that's bad. That's bad.
Damn, man, all the AFC West teams. Well, at least the Chargers lost. You know what I mean? All the Chargers lost.
The Chargers
it's not like it makes a difference for the Raiders. I'm just, I just hate.
Oh no,
AFC
not at all. It
teams.
don't even matter. We are in no way. And this is. I'm gonna leave everybody with this because I know we might get out of here soon, bro. I'll leave everybody with this. Okay, I know Pharaoh and I said we wasn't gonna win this game. We knew, we have the sense. But
I'll say I didn't have no sense. I didn't have no sense because my weekly NFL picks, I try to call upset. You know what I mean? Because I felt like, you know what? I try to call the upset, so it's on me, man. Hey, man.
But I will say this though, right? I will say this though, bro. When in a game where you could have tied the Chiefs record wise and been square in the AFC West race, like with a win today, and that's the effort that you give on the field, tells me everything I need to know, bro. They check the fuck out. Them dudes are check, because guess what, bro? If we win today, we're both 3-4. The Chiefs and us are 3-4.
Well, let's look at the performances real quick. Geno Smith passes for 67 yards, bro. This is 2025. He passed for 67. This is a passing league, bro. This is a passing league, and he passed for 67 yards. That's
Trent Dilfer, baby.
Man,
hey, this is for everybody that's saying we could just win with a quarterback, with just a defense and a quarterback not throwing. That's for everybody that said that.
Right, and then Ashton Genty rushes for a season low 21 yards. The Raiders go 0 for 7 on third down, 0 for 1 on that fourth down, and then I think at some point like the Chiefs were like 8 for 9 on third down. They finished 9 for 15. But at that point, the game was already over. Like it felt like every third down there was, like the Chiefs were automatically getting it. Sounds familiar. This is like early Chiefs domination on the Raiders. It felt like the last few years, maybe the Raiders were at least being a little bit more competitive. Difference, AP coach team, a lot more competitive with the Chiefs. Pete Carroll's old ass comes in, walks into the room like, oh, what do we have here? And it just gets smacked in the face.
Bro, last year at Arrowhead was way better. Last year, Arrowhead was way better, and we had less people as far as talent, you would say. But we only lose by a single snap last year to the Chiefs.
Anthony,
come on, bro. And
that's
I don't even know if you
too.
heard this. Exactly. I don't know if you heard this, bro. Did you hear what our guy Ted Wynn, I think he said it, or either Paul Gutierrez, somebody said it. But
What'd he say?
not only do you give shitty effort during a game where you could tie the Chiefs in the division and be square in it, bro, this shows you pride. The Chiefs were playing Christmas music during the commercials. They was playing Christmas music during the commercials. You know what that mean, bro? That's a prideful organization, dog. Private, because there's a standard. And I'm not gonna forget that.
Oh man, damn, that hurts, bro. That hurts more of the fans. I don't know if it hurts the players. I think it might hurt, like, you know, like the Max Crosbys and some of the guys that were there.
So we just get punching bags every year. Go for brothers slap us.
You still with us? I think you're in and out. Can you hear me?
It does.
I think you were going in and out. But
I'm still with you. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, man. I was just saying, man. Matt, I think, you know, some of the guys that were there on that team, they probably can remember that, like the Max Crosbys, maybe the Kuntzes and stuff like that. They might get the reference and stuff like that. But oh man, that's tough, bro. That's tough. But yeah, man. Look, the Raiders struggled. I mean, there was like penalties in the worst situations for them, like especially on offense, on defense. Speaking to your point about Kelly being terrible, why is he out there? He should be benched. Obviously, Darian Porter should be in there. That's the guy that you drafted, the guy that everybody's saying that you can develop. I mean, it's crazy. He had more confidence in playing Tariq Woolen his rookie year than he had Darian Porter. I don't know what it is. There's a trust factor with him that he's not there with, but it's strange to me. But I'll say this. When I heard, you know, Diana Rossini for The Athletic, the NFL Insiders, she came out and said the Raiders are sellers and buyers. They're pretty much they're looking to trade Jacoby Myers, but they're also looking to see if they can trade for a defensive lineman or corner. And when I heard that, I'm like, oh yeah, Pete, first of all, is staying here. Because why are you trying to trade? Why? Like, that's a signal that you're trying to stay competitive and try to win. But in reality, like, we know this team is not even close to winning. Like, even if you get a defensive lineman. Now if they get a player that's going to benefit their future, I'm all for. But if it's more about trying to compete the season's over. The season's over. It should be about selling the players, trading Jacoby Myers and getting what you can if you're not going to sign him. I don't want to see the Raiders trying to trade for a player that can help them now, but later down the road, are they going to be a part of the future plans? I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think it makes any sense. That was kind of interesting before the game, over the weekend when I seen that rumor. But we'll see how it shakes out, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. It's been a great show. It's been a great show. We appreciate you pulling. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And appreciate the super chat. He says, does it feel like certain people like Carroll have to follow the NFL script with the Raiders? Does it feel like people like Carroll have to follow the NFL script with the Raiders? I mean, he's just old, bro.
Nah, bro. It's just the Raiders' negative attributes, bro.
He's just not good. He's not a good coach at this stage of his career, man. Like, he's in over his head. He thought the fact that he sold us that it was this is going to be a winning season with the team. That's the one that's concerning. It's like, it's one thing to tell us what we like. He wants to tell everybody what he wants to hear, but it's another thing. Like, did he really believe that this team was close to winning? Like, and me and you can clearly see, like, man, that defense don't really have a lot of depth. Don't really have a lot of talent. Offensive line, I'm not sure. Man, like, who's going to be the starting X receiver? You know what I mean? Like Geno Smith. Oh, okay, we thought Geno was going to play better. We all thought Geno was going to play better, but it just felt like there might be a disconnect on what they thought about this team, Geno Smith, and what they sold. That's another thing too. I think the one thing that's getting Pete Carroll in trouble is that he kind of lied to the fan base and made it seem like they were better than they were. So I think that's one of the biggest.
That's on the fans to me, bro. That's on the fans to me. If you believe that, dog. We were saying it from the jump. From the jump. You know, I know I watched y'all. I know I was on y'all show. We said it. You know, we've done shows together. We done shit solo. I know for a fact that on these channels and people around, we have said, bro, this team ain't gonna be that good.
Oh damn!
That's fine.
Flag on the Broncos, 1st and goal for the Giants.
Oh shit, we gotta watch that. Okay, we gotta see it. You already know what time it is, man. We gotta see
Yeah, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clocking at this point, clock out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. My guy Rundown, appreciate you coming through and doing the show and chopping it up. Let the people know where they can find you, what to look forward to.
We got tomorrow, we got the rundown. I usually, tomorrow I do the shows for people. 40 seconds for the Broncos. We already here. Hold on. 40 seconds for the Giants. Are they gonna get this motherfucker in there? But we usually do shows for the people that missed the game or whatever the case. So I give them a rundown, and I like to sleep on it, give some fresh thoughts about how I feel. So that'll be tomorrow.
I think you got muted.
Hold on. Oh shit!
Hold on. You good now. You good now.
The game was over here playing at the same time. My computer was being funky. But yeah. Tap in tomorrow, 11 o'clock, man. It's gonna be fire. And then we'll do that. Me and my dog Pharaoh, we do these post games. It's always fire. We got shit. How many more weeks we got of this shit, bro? No, shit. How many weeks we got? Like 7. Like 7 more weeks, bro.
Nah, we got about we got 10
like
games. We got like 10 weeks. 10 weeks, bro. At least 10 weeks.
Shit.
10, 11 weeks. I mean, it's gonna be a bye week next week, so after that, it's gonna be like 10 weeks, 10 games left. So they've already played 7 games. They got 10 more games to go. We'll see how it shakes out. I'll be back this Tuesday with my guy Severe 50-50 show. Make sure to tune in. We'll recap and we'll give our final thoughts to this game and what the season outlook and what to look forward to as far as the Raiders, because man, it's not a lot to be positive right now, not just because they're losing. It's just we kind of can see the writing on the wall with certain guys on this team. And I don't want to be the guy to say, we need to fire everybody and do that. It's just, man, like it just feels yet again they made a bad hire, but we'll see. We'll see what happens next. And
bro.
Touchdown
the Giants won, dog.
Ooh,
bro,
damn.
this nigga is
wow.
Okay. See, this is what happens. You don't ever know what happens with the quarterback, but bro, Dart just led them down on a touchdown drive, and he over here running on the sideline screaming and yelling, and the Giants players is fucking going crazy, bro. That's the energy. The energy, man. We haven't felt that shit in so long.
Yeah. But remember, bro, they traded back into the first to draft Jackson Dart. They traded back in the first.
With you. I'm not saying we gotta do it the top 3, but all I'm saying is we have to do it in a first or second round capacity, bro. We can't just keep trying to do this 4th, 5th round shit no more. It's not gonna work. We have to do the first or second round, or whatever the case.
Yeah, we definitely got to get our guy in the building. Hopefully it happens this season. We'll be like I said, I'll be back here next Tuesday, 50-50 show. Later this week, Around the Shield, tune in. We'll have guests. We'll chop it up. We'll talk about the season thus far. Obviously, it's a bye week, so we don't got to see the team lose next week. We ain't got to see that,
thank
but
God.
for real. And we'll talk about what the Raiders' outlook is throughout the week, man. So definitely tune in. Subscribe to my channel, Pharaoh NFL with the Las Vegas Raiders, or Las Vegas Raiders with Pharaoh NFL, and also follow me all over social media, Pharaoh NFL, IG, X. Everywhere you can find me. And then definitely give a follow to Around the Shield on X and IG. I'm trying to build that up for the latest and greatest with the Raiders, podcast clips, memes, everything. We got it. You name it. Definitely check me out on there, or check us out on there, and you won't be disappointed. But any last thoughts before we head out, Rundown? The Raiders might fuck around and lose their bye week, but at least the fans get to win. We don't have to watch them. So at least that works for us. Right. Oh my God, the Giants kicker blew the goddamn extra point. He blew the goddamn extra. So what's the score?
32-30 with 30 seconds left.
Wait. Hold up. 32-30?
Yeah. 32-30.
Wait. You mean that they went up 32-30?
Yeah. Like, and if he would have made the extra point, it's 33-30. You feel what I'm saying? So now, if the Broncos, they don't got no timeouts though. Broncos ain't got no timeouts, so they could fuck around and still lose. But
they're at home. they're at home, and I know like kickers like kicking in Denver. Like,
Exactly.
So they can kick it farther in Denver. So like,
we can stay on to this game. All
right, we'll see. Let's get a live reaction. You know, my guy Rundown's gonna give us the play-by-play.
Yeah, we can stay on if y'all like. Bo Nix, they got 33 seconds. Where they at? They're at their 20 something though. Bo Nix, okay, they're at the 23 yard line, something like that. So they got some time. Yeah, empty out. Bo Nix throwing in the middle of the field. Oh shit, he just caught it. All right, well now 26 seconds, caught by Mim. They about to down this mug at the 47. It looked like. Boom, 18 seconds left. They just down. Okay, they about to get this field goal off. They gonna get this field goal off. It's gonna happen. Oh, flag though. Flag. What's the flag? Offsides.
Oh man. Because if it was on the Broncos, there would be like a rundown on the clock.
Second, yep, you got to run that down. But that's on the Giants, so they gave them an extra 5 on top. See, the Giants are young though, bro. Like they're a young ass team. They gonna lose games like this.
Let me see.
Brian Burns didn't get back. Damn. Oh, Dallas whooped Washington's ass. Oh my God.
I know. I was watching that, and I picked the Commanders to win. That's cold. That's cold, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
All
know
right, here we go. 1st and 5 with Denver. Who took a timeout? Oh, the Giants. All right, the Giants. At least you know the Chargers lost today in embarrassing fashion, so that's good. Yeah. You can always take some pleasure in that, but it's like we can't even watch our team and be like, man, oh, we're gonna, you know, we're in the race of the AFC. We're not. We're not.
So they're 1st and 10 on the Giants 48.
First and 5. 1st and 5.
Oh, so they're pretty much midfield, but like, whoo.
Yeah, pretty much. They just need one more. It's 18 seconds though. They just need one more, maybe like 10-yard pass. Go down, spike that mug. You good?
Oh, hold up. Oh wow, Broncos got a chance to win this, bro.
What happened? They got it.
Damn.
What a throw! That was a throw. I give him that one. I don't like Bo Nix, but that was a throw. Yeah, the Giants lost, dog.
Wow,
bro. Just all because the kicker missed the fucking extra point, dog.
Damn, man, that sucks.
Here come, and they keep showing it. I do it, yeah.
Damn, man. I wish I was watching a Raider. I wish I was watching a Raider game like this, like super interested.
Hey, you know what? I thought about it. I'll take the games that we had a couple years ago where we was just biting our nails and shit. I'll take that now. I don't care.
Because it was more interesting. It was more interesting, bro.
We just getting our ass whooped this point.
Man, it's like hard to even watch.
Here we go. 39 yarders. So this shit is definitely makeable. He's definitely gonna make this. Even in Cleveland won 31-6. Now that I'm seeing.
Oh, they won. Game over.
Oh, so yeah, right down the middle. Damn. Well, all right. Broncos win in the fashion, but damn, even the Giants.
We were hoping they would lose. We just want to make that clear for y'all Raider fans out there. We were hoping they were losing, but
we were Giants fans right here at this point. But even the Giants can score 32 points with a rookie and look better.
That is
shame.
Man. But
who's tonight's game, real quick, before we get on out of here? Who's tonight?
Tonight's game, I think, is it's Atlanta and San Francisco.
Oh, that's not bad. I'll watch that.
Atlanta. So Michael Penix.
Yeah.
Anybody who like Michael Penix coming out, man.
Mac Jones ain't bad in that Shanahan offense either.
Bro, yeah, that's the right system for him. Because if you, they said Kyle Shanahan wanted to draft him until like they ended up drafting. Yeah, that'd have been ugly, but they actually, you know what? They traded up to get Trey Lance.
They did. That's what I'm saying. They should have just drafted fucking your boy when they had the chance.
When they didn't have to basically what I'm saying, like where did they trade up from? I don't know if
they gave a haul. It was a haul. that they had to give up to get Trey Lance, which is like, hey, in retrospect, bro, Purdy saved Shanahan's job because anybody else would have got fired because of that.
No, Purdy, none of those guys got, look, when you win, everybody shuts up. When you win, Kyle Shanahan won. That's the reason why, like, he can make moves, make mistakes, but he wins. Players are hurt. Like, I don't know if you've been paying attention to 49ers this season.
Yeah,
like, they've been hurt.
Mass unit over there, bro.
Yeah, they've been hurt all season. They just win. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But, man, we'll be back at it. I know Rundown got a show tomorrow. Make sure to tune in the morning after. He's going to break it down for y'all. And then, obviously, myself, this Tuesday, 50-50 show later this week, Around the Shield. Check us out. Definitely
and
subscribe.
We'll be back in 2 weeks, man. After who we play? Jaguars next game. So
yeah, that's ugly.
Yeah.
That's ugly. You know, and
even though they lost today, they're still better than us.
And what's bad? I don't know. Are the Jaguars on a bye week? Are they on a bye week? Because the reason why I say this is it's going to be interesting to see how this team is after a bye week.
Yeah. Yes, because even after even predicting the schedule, I was like, yeah, the bye week is where we fall off. But we're already there. So it's like you're already there.
It's 2 weeks, bro. Like, I'm telling you, every loss, everything that's happening from here on out, the entire season we've been paying attention. But I'm just saying it's gonna be interesting to see how this coaching staff, this team responds after being blown out 31-0.
Oh, they do have a bye, bro. They do.
They have a bye week. So no advantage for the Raiders. I'll just go.
They're coming off a bye. They damn self. So.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I was trying to be positive there. Just swing and you miss. Swing and you miss, man. But we up out of here, man. We'll see y'all soon, man. Peace.
Just win, baby. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.